93.7 The Ticket. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Nick Sainer and Enrique Alvarez Clary with you today. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I am fantabulous.
Do you want to elaborate why?
Today is a great day.
NBA, is that what we're
Ladies
going
and
with?
gentlemen, the NBA season starts today. The New York Knicks start on a path to get to 50-plus wins, and be a top 3 seed in the East, and then probably lose in the second round, but I don't care. It's going to be a great season.
Yes. As always, 402-464-5685 Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. Both those are open for you all hour long, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Interact with the show that way. We'll throw your comment up on the screen. Okay, so
Unless I don't like it.
Yes, because Rico has control over that. We probably should have thought that through a little bit more because you might be
I run this.
tough.
I run this. If you send a message in on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch on our video stream, our Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, and I don't like it, you're not getting up there. But if I do like it, you're definitely getting up there. But if you make me laugh, even if I don't like it,
you're getting up there.
You're getting up there. So
a little bit of the preview of the show. I don't know if you guys have heard listening to Tom and Bach a little bit. Maybe even Happer and Schaefer got to it at the back end of their show. Nebraska is trying to get rid of Purdue tickets. Even students are selling their tickets for nothing. They're giving them away. They're saying, hey, I will give you my Purdue ticket.
Do you want to go to the Purdue game? Take my ticket.
Yeah. And so they're trying to salvage the sellout streak. So I think rightfully so, we need to have another conversation about whether or not it's really that important. And so that might be a trigger warning if about sellout streaks.
I wish we just we just need like a constant sellout streak sounder. Just like it's time to talk about the sellout streak or something.
I didn't want to talk. I wasn't today when I woke up. I was not planning to talk about the sellout.
Neither
streak.
was I. And then I saw the whole buy one, get one free thing that the university's doing. And I was like, I don't think this has ever happened before. But then I remembered. Well, I didn't remember. I saw somebody post something about the Brady Hoke era at Michigan when they were giving away tickets if you like bought a Coke or something like that. Or like if you brought like a Coke or a can into the stadium, you would get a ticket. So it's sometimes universities struggle with getting people to go to the games because, they're not good or it's not a good opponent or it's going to be bad weather. And, they pull out all the stops to get people there. Maybe you can give more tickets away to kids in need.
Yeah, that's great. I don't want to take anything away from the red carpet experience, but that
did look super fun.
That's fantastic. I just was not expecting to see that Nebraska was offering buy one, get one free tickets. And also I did not expect to see fans or students, I should say, exchanging their tickets for Ohio State and Iowa for the Purdue game.
How are they?
They're trying to
trade their tickets to other people.
Their tickets to people that don't have them. They're saying, hey, if you give me the Iowa ticket, you can have.
Yeah, you're not going to. I don't think you're going to
bad.
get that off. I think you just give your ticket away or you sell your ticket. Look, okay. My thought process with this is there's plenty of people in the state who would still love to go to a game.
Yes.
I don't know if you have to resort to giving your tickets away for free or buy one, get one. Granted, I don't know the logistics of the ticket sales and how many they're selling and how many they have left, but I just have a feeling that there are enough people in the state and out of the state that are Nebraska fans that would love to come to Nebraska, go to Memorial Stadium and watch Nebraska play despite the disappointing season that they're having and the opponent that they're playing. Granted, the opponent is good. They're facing a top 25 opponent unless they lose next week. They're ranked. I know. You can say whatever you want about Purdue and how bad they are or whatever. They're in the top 25. They have a winning record.
Yes.
So you can't really trash them too much.
That's a good point. So I just think that we're at a point where today really showed And here's my whole thought on it is
Nick's thoughts.
you don't need to save the sellout streak.
But it's the last thing we have.
Yes.
What do we have if there is no sellout streak? History?
You still have tradition.
The future?
You still have the tradition.
The tradition of the red N on the side of your helmet? The tradition of Herbie? The tradition of the black N? Memorial Stadium?
I guess maybe
National championships?
Maybe this is a better way to point it or to put it. It's okay if the sellout streak ends.
How dare you?
Rico, are you really on
No,
that side?
I don't care
Thank
about
you.
the sellout
That's what I
streak.
thought.
I
Thank you.
don't care.
I figured. So I don't know. You guys can send in your
I
thoughts.
just want it to end on a cool number. What's it at right now?
Oh, geez. I don't know. I don't even know. All I know is you guys can send in your thoughts, 464-5685, all hour long. Shout out to Cub Screw on the text line. He says, go Bulls. That's happening tonight.
No
I need to talk about this. I'm not very happy with you and Happer and the rest of the clan here.
We tried so hard.
Because we have Jersey days here in the office every
Random
now and
Jersey
then.
days.
Yeah. And it's basically when, it's like, hey, should we have a Jersey day on Thursday? Yes. Or when there's opening day of the season or of Major League Baseball, stuff like that.
Or just a random day.
Yeah, we'll have our jerseys. Well, today, after class, I'm like, oh, I got to go home and grab my Bulls jersey because it's opening day. And I walk in, I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? And I'm wearing my Bulls jersey, and Happer's like, ha, I got you. And then I was like, with what? And he goes, oh, no, you weren't supposed to wear your jersey. And that was it.
Me and him talked about it yesterday. We were like, should we wear jerseys tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, we should, because both our teams play. And then he texted me and he goes, should I wear Jamal Murray or Nikola Jokic? And I go, obviously you go with the MVP. And then I asked him, I said, should we tell Nick? And he goes, no, let's not tell Nick. And I go, awesome. We're not going to tell Nick. He's not going to wear a jersey. He's going to feel so left out. And then Nick shows up today with the damn jersey on.
I just
ruined the fun.
I know you guys too well.
You ruined
so
the
I
fun.
needed to publicly make a statement about how excited I was that I got the best of you, number one, and number two, that's something that you did not plan on happening. I forced it to happen.
You're a monster.
We get this off the text line. Nick! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! We must save the sellout. It's all we have left, and we can use it for recruiting. I don't know if it's sarcastic, but I will say this. And Frost kind of talked about it a little bit today. In terms of recruiting, they're sitting at 8 commits right now. Their highest
just had a decommitment.
Yes, their highest commit is 594th best player in the country according to 24/7 Sports.
Top 600.
That's right where you want to be.
Yeah, it is.
They are last in terms of recruiting in the Big Ten Conference. So if we're using the sellout streak for recruiting, it's not working. And so that's what makes me think that this text was sarcastic, but I figured I should probably put that out there also. But like I said, Frost kind of touched on it earlier today. He had a presser today, and he said that he was not shy about they're going to dig into the transfer portal quite a bit to find some immediate help. And so they're going to be losing quite a bit. Another texter says 2 weeks ago, people were trying to sell their tickets for 120. Now people are selling them next to nothing. Oh, what a difference a bad loss makes. You're absolutely right. I mean, I remember I can speak to this since I'm a student. Student tickets are normally $5. The student tickets for the Michigan game, $80.
Jeez.
$80 for a student ticket. And I know there were a lot of just normal tickets for $100+ dollars out there selling them for the Michigan game. And now buy one, get one free, just like you would with a candy bar or something like that. So it's just not a good look that you're trying to salvage the sellout streak to the point. And that's the thing, is it's almost desperate in my eyes. You're trying so hard to save it that
you're doing anything.
It's okay.
You've dove deep into the pool of marketing techniques and everything to find a way to keep the sellout streak alive, and you've landed on buy one get one free. You buy a ticket, you can get the seat next to you for free and bring your friend along with you. And I mean, I don't know, like I guess I don't really have very strong emotions towards this. Like,
yeah,
if that's what you want to do, go ahead. If the sellout streak really means that much to you and that's what you're willing to do, like, go right ahead. Maybe it's not about the sellout streak. Maybe it's just about getting more people to the game. Maybe they're scared that not a lot of people are going to be at the game, and not that it's not going to be a sellout, although that is on the back of everybody's minds, but that there's not going to be as many people there as they're used to, you know, excluding a sellout, because sometimes it's a sellout and there's not as many people there regardless. But maybe they're believing that after a bad Minnesota loss, a bye week, you know, a week for people to really think about things, maybe they'll lose some people that'll decide just to stay home and watch the game on television.
Yeah, so I just wanted to touch on that. We don't need to stick around on that because, like I said, I think Rico and I are in the same boat. We don't have a ton of thoughts or feelings towards it. Okay, I want to talk about...
I always thought that sellout streak was cool, but I've never been one of the people that's been like, we have to save the sellout streak no matter what. Like, everything in our power needs to be put towards keeping the sellout streak alive. Like, if the sellout streak dies, the sellout streak dies. You know, you can start a new one. It'll take a long time to get back to where it was, but, you know, these things happen. Although I think it's at 379 right now is what I saw. I would love for it to get to like 380 or you know,
just to then end it on
like,
a cool number.
Like a cool number, like, I don't
400?
know, 400 would be awesome. 395.
That'd be a couple years.
Yeah, you know, something like that.
All right, let's move on. This is where I want your guys' input. 464-5685. And I can kind of we can ask Erin Sorensen of Hail Varsity this when she joins us at 2:30 here in 15 minutes or so. But is it time for Nebraska to reassess expectations? Because, and it's kind of jarring to think that, because I've said it before, how alarming and how crazy it is to think that just a couple years ago, or even a couple staffs ago, it was 9 wins isn't good enough. And I know that whole narrative is out there. And then it was, okay, a coach that's 500 at 19-19 is not good enough. And now we have this guy that it just went undefeated at UCF. So it's kind of a good time to make that change there. And at the end of the day, the reason I asked this question is, at the end of the day, it's all about winning and losing games. And to this point in 4 years, we went through all the kickoff times. We broke it down. We went through bye weeks. We've talked about their red zone offense. We've talked about their defense in depth. And yet, at the end of the day, this staff is still failing at winning games. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. That's what the level of success that you have is determined by wins and losses. And so this is where I ask you guys, under this staff, and maybe it changes not super dramatically if there is a new staff or anything like that, but is 6 wins asking too much right now where Nebraska is as a program?
I don't think it's asking too much. At a point, it's asking too little. Like, right now with this staff, with what they've accomplished in their 4 years and their 3 years here at Nebraska, asking for 6 wins in a bowl game, 1 year is not asking too much. However, after that, I think the expectations go right back to where they were, maybe a little bit lower. Actually, lower, not back to where they were, because everybody's saying national championship for Nebraska. Well, not everybody, but a decent amount of people are still saying that. I think it's compete in the Big Ten West, win the Big Ten West, and get to the Big Ten championship every few years. Just be competitive, like top 25 team competitive every single year. I don't think that's asking too much for a program like Nebraska. To start the season in the top 25 and to finish in the top 25, possibly even the top 15, is not asking too much for a program like Nebraska. If you can recruit the way that Nebraska believes they can recruit, and they have recruited, before this season, finishing in the top 25 and the top 15 is not impossible, and it's not asking too much. That's asking very little, actually. If you can compete in the Big Ten and win the Big Ten championship every few years, that is exactly where you want to be, because that will put you in the conversation to get into a college football playoff, which is what Nebraska fans want. You want to be competitive and compete for national championships. I'm not saying you're going to get to the national championship game and win that every few years, but I am saying you're going to compete for it, like Oklahoma. Like they have not been to a national championship for a few years, but every single year it seems like they are in the talks for making it into the college football playoff, and they are playing in the college football playoff. And if Nebraska was in their shoes, in their spot, I think Nebraska fans would be completely fine with that.
And I guess, and this is the exact reaction I was hoping for, number one, and expecting, number two. Mailman Dan, Nick, I don't think our expectations could be any lower. What are we going to be happy as long as we win one Big Ten game? Absolutely not. We're not happy now. And that's exactly what I'm saying. But yet there's still people allowing it to happen. And that's where I want to tie in everything with bringing in, and okay, Kevin in Southwest Lincoln, 6 wins is asking too little. Absolutely. At a program like Nebraska, it absolutely is.
But that's what I'm saying.
But
like
that's where
asking
we're
for,
at,
asking for
unfortunately.
6 wins in one season
Mhm.
after what they've shown, after what the staff has shown for 3 seasons, asking for 6 wins and a bowl game appearance, a bowl game win,
Yeah.
one season is not asking too little. That is asking for progress. That is asking for a step up from where you have been.
Yeah.
And after that one season, you jump right back into competing for top 25 level everything and possibly being in the discussion for a Big Ten championship at some point. Like you jump right back to that. But right now, the way this program is, the way this program has been competing and what they've shown for the past couple of years, asking for 6 wins in a bowl game is right at the lower rung of what you are asking for this team.
Well, in reality, let's be honest, 6 wins is minor progress. 6 wins is minor progress. I understand. It's that whole idea of getting to a bowl game. It's being able to say that Nebraska went to the Outback Bowl or the Pinstripe Bowl or the Guaranteed Rate Bowl down in Phoenix or Tempe, wherever it's at.
The Red Box, or no, Cheez-It
Bowl.
Bowl, not Red Box.
Like
anymore.
that's what Nebraska's playing for. And that's sad to see how and disappointing and kind of jarring to see how far Nebraska's fallen. And I can't even imagine what it's like for the folks that lived before me or were alive before me watching
folks that
Nebraska.
were alive and
I don't-
remember the 90s.
Yeah, I hate that narrative, but let's be honest. It's
That must be tough.
It's painful for me right now. And my best memory is the Bo Pelini years. And
Those are
it's painful. Like
Those
I was
were some good years to
I
me.
was thinking about that earlier today and just how far Nebraska has unfortunately fallen and how far down. And yes, you have to be realistic and realistically assess where the program is at. But it's alarming, it's scary, and it's painful to see and realize that this is what you have to embrace kind of now, is that Nebraska has 6 wins is a good season right now. And it's painful. And part of that is that people within the program are accepting of that. And they're accepting that, I should say. Bot Tanner's Tiller says it's not Frost's fault he inherited a garbage team in the Big Ten. Let alone Nebraska, where you're expected by fans to be a conference champion every week. I will say this. I know I mentioned about the previous staffs, but I don't like blaming the previous staff for Frost's failures. Because if you remember at the end of year 2, and we're in year 4, at the end of year 2, it was from this coaching staff, they said that they had weeded out all the bad plants. They had figured they gotten all the bad apples out of it. Their culture was dramatically improved. That came out of their mouths. That wasn't any of us saying
they
it.
had all their guys.
It was them saying that. And I understand.
That was the thing that they kept. That's the thing that fans and some of the staff that says, we once we get our guys, we'll be able to do this. And I don't like that saying. I really don't, because as a head coach, you taking over a program, guess what? All of those guys in that locker room are your guys now. I know maybe they don't fit the exact type of offense or defense or any type of scheme you want to run, but guess what? Those are your guys, and you have to find a way to make it work. And I understand that, based on what we heard after the previous staff left, is that things in the program were not headed in a good direction, and they were not doing the best that they could be doing, or things just weren't going correctly for that staff. But once Frost and company took over, those are your guys, and you have to find a way to make it work. And after year 2, like you said they weeded everybody out. They got their culture in place, and that they had their guys and they were ready to go. And guess what? We're in year 4. Your very first recruiting class are seniors now. These are all your guys now. You don't really have anybody from the previous staff's guys. You have Ben Stilley and you have JoJo Doman are the only people that were on a team that played in a bowl game last on this team. These are all your guys. So you can't use that anymore.
Well, and in year 2, like that's the thing is through 2 years, you might not have to expect a major culture shift or expect or think that everything's just fine now. However, now we've had a year and a half since that passed. And I understand year 3 was kind of wonky with COVID and the pandemic and everything. However, once again, it came out of their mouths that they had everything perfect, how they wanted it, and that they felt extremely good about where they were in 2019. And here we are in year 4, sitting at 3-5 with, once again, the games against the top 10 opponents. You can't really take anything away from them now because that bad taste of a 30-23 loss against a mediocre Minnesota team that was much more juiced up than you were to play a Big Ten West opponent. And this is where I want to tie it in, because we talk about people accepting mediocrity, basically. And I know there's a lot of Husker fans out there that will not stand for it, and you shouldn't. But Frost spoke today, and it's in our folder here, talking about I believe it was how they were prepared for Minnesota. And Frost just straight up said that they didn't come out and let it rip. And that was alarming for me. And so, Rico, if you could, there's a clip in there that says they just didn't let it completely rip.
Give me a second to find it.
Because it's alarming. And we talked about it a lot of times about how Nebraska, how are you not woken up and ready to and juiced up to play a Big Ten West opponent? How do you come out flat playing for Nebraska? And this all kind of ties in number one, the players allowing it from their teammates. And number 2, it's in our folder. And then from number 2, how does the coaching staff and the other people within the program allow it? That's what's scary for me, is that you're allowing and accepting that this stuff happens. And if it wasn't all that alarming, if it happened on Saturday, that means that it's happened before. And so here's Frost talking about how they need to just completely let it rip coming out on against Purdue.
You know, I think we got to completely let it rip. So a little bit of that is coaches. We got to be ready for the first drive. First drive matters. It particularly mattered in that game. We went 3 and out, and they took 7 minutes off the clock and went and scored. But we just watched the whole team game with the offense. First play, we made a wrong read. Second play, had a guy open and protection wasn't great and just missed it. And third play, had a guy open again. Corner fell down on a dig route, and we probably threw it a little too quick and didn't make the play. And then you punt to them, and they go 7 minutes, and it's 7-0. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. When the play's there, we got to make it. We got to be a little better in protection. We got to make the right read, and it's little details here and there. We're executing on a lot of stuff, making a lot of plays, getting a lot of yards. When it really matters, we haven't gotten it done enough.
Through 4 years, it's been little details. Whether it's on special teams, whether it's on the offensive side of the ball, whether it's on the defensive side, it's always been about the little details. And yet, through 8 games now, those little details continue to bite Nebraska in the butt. And that's it. And then you look up and you see these one-score games, and you talk about how teams are beating Nebraska and how Frost and his staff are just bad in one-score games in Nebraska. And like I just said right before we played that clip, is if Saturday you didn't come out with enough juice and it wasn't made that big of a deal about it, it didn't sound like it was that big of a deal, then that's happened before. And that means that you've accepted it before. And that, hey, it's okay if all of our guys, like, I understand also that this was their 8th straight game and they're worn out.
I understand you played 3 straight night games, and you're going into an 11 o'clock kickoff, and it's a little bit different, but that is the reason you said when you got here, you're doing early morning practices so you can be ready for early morning kickoffs and really any kickoff, because if you're up early in the morning, you're ready to go the rest of the day. So the not having juice is just inexcusable. And so that's where I just wanted to dip into that real quick. And we can talk about them
saying that they need to completely let it rip and everything like that, and how Minnesota, they punted it away after going 3 and out, and then Minnesota went 7 minutes. That's Big Ten football, is slow, methodical drives that are well orchestrated with a solid running game and taking up clock. That is Big Ten football. And so that should not make any, waves, if that makes sense, because that is what this conference is. You don't see anybody running UCF offense, basically. Let's just say that. And so that's where it's worrisome to talk about expectations, and that there are people out there okay with 4 wins in year 4, because 10 years ago, 9 wins was not good. Not good enough. And there's an opportunity, or there's a way that you could even look at this team and say, Nebraska may be more talented on paper. They may have a better quarterback than they did back in Bo Pelini's time. There's a chance that you compare them and say, Scott Frost might have the better team, might have a better looking team as well from a skill set. However, there are positions that are missing, running back being one of those. The offensive line wasn't fantastic under Bo, but it was certainly better than it is now. The defense was fantastic, and they found success. That's, if you compare the two programs, and 9 wins is success, I guess, in my eyes, then you see what's kind of missing and how it's kind of fallen off in recent years. Let's go ahead and get to break. We got to take a quick one. When we come back, we'll be joined by Aaron Sorensen of Hail Varsity next on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air's motto is our family serving yours. That starts with how we hire. We go through an extensive interview process to really get to know you and show you who we are. We want to help you build a great career, be challenged, have fun, and bring home an excellent weekly paycheck. We offer competitive wages with benefits, including a day off for your birthday. Apply to be a part of the John Henry's family at jhlincoln.com. That's jhlincoln.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Dreaming of the perfect kitchen, more room for entertaining? Today, the Johnsons got both and saved by consolidating their debt. With a home equity line of credit, you can borrow money as you need it, have flexible payment options, and pay interest on only the money you're using. If you have equity in your home, the possibilities are endless with a home equity line of credit. What will you decide to do? Get started by visiting LibertyFirstCU.com today. Approval required. Equal opportunity lender. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
One host has a red beard and thinning hair. The other also has a red beard and thinning hair. One host got married over the summer. So did the other one. One is a diehard fan of a sub-500 AL Central baseball team. So is the other. Can these two radio hosts do a show together without getting confused as to their own identity? The same couple. Happer and Schaefer. Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, buying a used vehicle sucks, and the biggest problem is who can you trust? Hey, this is Carl from Price Right Auto out here at West O Street in Lincoln. Here's what customers have told us they want from us. They want transparent pricing with no games. We have all our pricing on our website, plus a Carfax report. We don't want to buy a lemon. We include a 3-month warranty on all of our vehicles. We don't want to play games. Just make it simple. You saw that with non-commissioned salespeople. Can you trust us? Just check out our Google reviews. Again, this is Carl from Price Right Auto in West O. Check us out at PriceRightAuto.com.
Beatrice Bakery has been serving Nebraska with one-of-a-kind Grandma's Fruitcake since 1964. You already know that, but did you know they offer way more than that? You've got to try their line of liqueur cakes, like the strawberry daiquiri cake or the vanilla rum cake. Or what about their breakfast breads, the banana nut bread, or their various streusel coffee cakes? Whatever the occasion, Beatrice Bakery has something for you. Oh yeah, and Grandma's Fruitcake? It's still pretty darn good. Beatrice Bakery, Located in downtown Beatrice, or always online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Last year, the average starting pay for an SCC truck driver training program graduate was $44,720. Southeast Community College can now make that a reality in only 8 weeks with its professional truck driver training class starting in October. SCC's fleet of 12 trucks and professional instructors will prepare you for a new career. You'll end the course with your Class A CDL. Learn more about SCC's professional truck driver training class at southeast.edu/truckdriver. SCC, your path to possible.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here on the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, Enrique Alvarez Clary with you. We are now joined on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, as we are every Wednesday, we're with Erin Sorensen of Hail Varsity. Erin, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. We're hanging in there after
I'm sad,
Saturday.
Erin.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
Let's go ahead and start.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. It's just that was like the best reaction.
Let's go ahead and start with the general question then. What was going through your head after the disappointing game on Saturday?
Well, I was first and foremost really upset with Minnesota. The one thing I could rely on over after the last 2 times I've been in Minnesota and things have not gone well, there's at least been dilly bars in the press box.
Oh.
There were none this year, so I was pretty disappointed.
Wow.
But I know, I was just like added insult to injury.
The nerve.
Yeah, the absolute nerve. How dare they? No, it kind of it sounds cliche to say this, but because Scott Frost said it against Illinois, I kept thinking of that line where I'm like, I've seen this movie before. I have seen this exact movie in Minneapolis, just like this before, just different weather. And it just was hard to believe because Nebraska really, truly plays to the level of its opponent. And I understand going into this game that there was concern about, 8 straight weeks of, and it wasn't just 8 straight weeks of games. It's the fall camp that precedes that. Nebraska obviously started early with the week 0 and then has had a grind of a schedule. But this is a schedule that Scott Frost wanted. They could have had an early bye week early in the season, and they opted to change that, 1 for recruiting and 2 because it just was not conducive to have that late game and like that. The game that was originally scheduled late in the year. So you kind of get to that point and it's like, yeah, whatever it was, lack of juice, they were tired, whatever the case was, it was just sort of bewildering. I feel like that was like the word is, as I was just bewildered, and honestly, like another good word, befuddled.
Yeah. We're speaking to Erin Sorensen of Hail Varsity as we do every Wednesday. I guess let's talk about that schedule for a moment because they had those good games or good performances, I should say, against the top 10 opponents, whether it be Oklahoma, Michigan State, Michigan. And it was a little detail every single time that kind of hurt them in the end. How much are you able to take away from those performances now that they've went out and it was pretty disappointing on Saturday because we kind of all felt like Nebraska was turning a corner and then poof.
Yeah. For sure. No, you're right. Like people really use, Oklahoma and even Michigan, all of these. Like I know like the thing that we've heard a lot of is no moral victories, but to a degree people are like, but you're talking like if 6 inches, like if something could have gone just a little bit different this way or that way, it's the difference of a win or a loss for Nebraska. And I don't think you can discredit that. I don't think you can take away from those things. I think what Minnesota probably solidified for me is what we saw against Illinois, which is a team that is just, it's very fragile. It's very easy for it to go. It's that graphic on Saturday, that roller coaster graphic was wild.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Oh, that's funny.
It does feel like a roller coaster to a degree, and it just feels like Nebraska, when it's in a valley, is in a valley. When it's in a peak, on a peak, it just like can't stay there, and just kind of like it just, like I said, I don't think you can take away from those other games necessarily. There was good to be had there, but if you cannot make it matter in the games that you should win, you kind of have a hard time looking at those and feeling like, were you all that close to begin with, or did you just have a really good day and a really good game plan? And if that was the case, why couldn't you have done that on Saturday?
Yeah, let's talk about Adrian Martinez for a moment, because I kind of made the comment on Monday. Obviously, Monday was a pretty sad day here at the station, but I kind of made the comment about how it would be nice if Adrian didn't have to play at an all-conference level every single game for Nebraska to compete in a Big Ten game. Do you feel like there's some validity with that, or do you feel like it's okay that Adrian has to be a Heisman have a Heisman performance for Nebraska to even compete?
You know, I think Adrian has fought exceptionally hard through his career at Nebraska. I still, despite this Minnesota game, I believe he has had one of the best seasons of his career. The issue that we've run into, and we've talked about it Wednesdays prior to now, is that it's hard for me to put everything on him when not everything around him is working as well. I mean, it's just even simple things as like when he's going to hand the ball to a running back and that running back didn't there was a miscommunication. Like, these are just little things that they break down, but then you start to look at what happened against Minnesota. And obviously now we know Scott Frost confirmed suspicion that he wasn't 100%. They weren't able to do some of the things, the quarterback run stuff. But I even thought, the option looked a little wonky against Minnesota. He wasn't able to run and scramble like he normally does. But even watching him throw, he was clearly favoring. Like, he was definitely a little bit more cautious even in how he throws. And I think that was why you were seeing some balls just like even if you want to point to examples in the past games where you're like, well, he overthrew that or he did this. This is almost different than that. It felt different. It felt like he was struggling to kind of find his footing and to really get himself grounded. And then you start to have the questions of, is that the best solution, is to play that, your starting quarterback if he's not 100%? What does that say about the backup situation? And they did bring a fourth quarterback to Minnesota on Saturday. So there's a lot of questions, and Frost, was asked about it today, and he kind of, just said that there'll be things that he can talk about in the future, but left it sort of at that. I mean, what's specifically going on, maybe we'll never know, or maybe we'll sit down and have a chat about it one day.
How do you think they feel about the backup quarterbacks?
For myself, like, I kept going into this season thinking if you can get some games like Northwestern or some of the non-conference games early in the season, or even in my thought, maybe potentially Minnesota.
Yeah.
If you could get some of your backups in just for the experience, you need it, because at some point Adrian Martinez is going to graduate from this program and depart. So you don't want to walk into a season with a quarterback who's never seen anything on the field. And from what we've seen, Logan has done a nice job. I know that there's been some concerns about maybe his passing and still needing to work on his arm and his passing. But like, from what we've seen, he handled it just fine. So then you start to wonder, like, is it a playbook thing? Do they not feel comfortable with the knowledge of the playbook? It starts to bring up more questions than I think, even Scott Frost is probably comfortable answering. And it just, if your starting quarterback who's not 100% healthy is your best option, it just does start to make people curious. What does that mean if Logan Smothers goes in, or Matt Master, or Heinrich Harburg? Like, it just starts to make you wonder, like, what exactly is going on there that is causing such hesitancy not to play somebody else.
We're speaking to Aaron Sorensen of Hail Varsity. Aaron, speaking of backups and the roster, Connor Culp has been struggling this season, and people have been calling for his head, and Frost and company have stuck by him, and he's hit a couple big kicks here and there, but overall he hasn't had the same season that he had last year when he was named Big Ten Kicker of the Year. Is there a hesitancy to take him out and maybe see if they can get his head right, or are they just trying to leave him in there to kick his way out of the situation that he finds himself in?
That's a great question. I just, first and foremost, there's somebody who's going to be hearing me say this and they're going to roll their eyes, and to that person, like, I understand, but I do have to say, I have to give Connor Culp credit. He has every single week faced the media after a game, good or bad. And it's almost like heartbreaking to watch him like do that, but it means something to him to show up and be like, to own whatever happened. So you got to give him credit for that he's at least willing to like face this. He understands the like just the significance of what has happened with him. You know, I don't know, I guess maybe the reasoning for it, if there's something that's going on with him, and I hate to use this specific word, especially if anyone's a Ted Lasso fan, but like if there's the case of the yips, or there's something going on that is like creating this just hesitancy with him where he's not performing at the level that he has in the past, I guess I don't know the answer, if it's better to take him out or if it's better to let him play through it. I know he's been seeing a sports psychologist and has talked about, you know, kind of what he's had to battle through this season. But I guess like, I don't know. That's a great question. And one almost like I want to sit and ask a sports psychologist about, like, what do you do? But the question then becomes too, does Nebraska not have somebody that they can put in and feel comfortable with to make those kickers? I know I've had people bring up, what about the kicker from Iowa Western? What about this person? And the answer is, I just don't know, because we haven't been given any indication as to why somebody else is or isn't playing.
I guess that will tie in with my next question here regarding the red zone offense, because what would your reaction be if I told you, Aaron, that out of 107 snaps inside the red zone, Nebraska's ran the ball 91 times?
I mean, I believe you, because we actually did a lot of discussion on this with the Hale Varsity staff and have put together stories on this exact thing, because it is the red zone offense is continuing to be perplexing. And I mean, I think like kind of it just encapsulates in that moment that, like, you know, you're always like 6 inches away, and like you can believe like if this one little thing would have gone differently, it would have worked. But like, I guess like I'm kind of at a loss, and I understand I'm not game planning, and I understand that I'm not the person that's sitting there looking at the film and determining what makes the most sense. But Nebraska is one of the worst teams in the red zone in the country. There's got to be something that has to be answered for that, right? Like this offense, like why? I think there's a lot of people kind of grasp with like trying to understand these things, and when you do ask, you kind of get met with like, well, this is what we game plan for, but this one little thing didn't go the way we wanted to, or this look didn't end up being what we thought it would be, and it just kind of starts to become like, what is the answer then? I hope I show how flabbergasted. I'm using a lot of good words today.
Yeah, no,
that
I think
was another one.
I think
flabbergasted.
Nebraska fans are kind of all in that same boat, that everybody's just kind of perplexed on why it's not working and why it doesn't seem like they're changing things to at least try and get it to work. I guess in terms of rushing inside the red zone, there's a couple ways you can look at it. One of them, I don't think this is it necessarily. How do you feel about the narrative that they don't trust Adrian to throw the ball in the red zone?
Yeah, I don't know if I think that. I just kind of wonder. See, this all compounds for me. Like, I don't just look at it as like, is it just Adrian that's creating, like, whatever? Like, I think that's too almost simplistic, and maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe it is that simple. But I start to think of like, what are they afraid of the offensive line not being able to do? What are they afraid that the offensive line is not going to be able to, like, is the production not going to be there? Are they afraid that he's not going to sync up with the receivers? Now, I don't know if I believe that, because especially with some of those tight ends, like with Austin Allen, I would assume that you could make something happen with him. It seems like, one, they've got a good connection going with one another, and Austin's got the size to really dominate in the red zone. So like, I don't know. And so part of me is like, maybe it is as simple as like, they don't trust Adrian to throw, but I think it's probably even bigger than that. Maybe it comes down to like, you to a degree don't trust Adrian, but maybe then you also aren't trusting your offensive line. Maybe there's this other piece, and like, that's the stuff where it starts to get even more dicey, because I don't have the answer, and you'd almost have to give truth serum to somebody to like give you the like real understanding of like, what is the decision making that's happening there, because it's not, the red zone situation is an alarming piece of the puzzle right now.
We're speaking with Aaron Sorensen of Hale Varsity. Enough sadness. We're going to get happy a little bit. Volleyball plays Iowa tonight. Maddie Kubik, two-time back-to-back Big Ten Player of the Week. Lexi Rodriguez, two-time Freshman of the Week. This volleyball team is on a tear, currently winning 8 straight, but we haven't seen Kayla Caffey in the last 2. What do you expect to see out of this volleyball team tonight?
Well, first and foremost, like what a heck of a turn for Maddie Kubik. That is somebody where John Cook, when he challenged them at the beginning of the year to really step up, she is somebody who has obviously taken that challenge and run with it. I really think that this team is finding its groove. Coach Cook called it them being an indie car. They have to fine tune things. And we obviously know that's a big part of non-conference for Nebraska volleyball is utilizing those first games of a season to figure itself out, to fine tune things. And they're getting better every single week. And for people that had been maybe frustrated with how Nicklin Hames was setting, her sets are becoming better. As you can tell, she's starting to trust more and more of what her hitters need from her, what they want. And so you're seeing just an overall team just kind of finding its groove with one another. And I have called it they're finding their flow. Obviously getting Caffey back will be a big deal. She has her just kills are, when she gets one, they're terrifying.
She puts a hole in the court.
So it'll be great to see her back when she's able to return. But I mean, right now, this team is grooving. And if they can keep that up, it just feels good, the direction they're going in the Big Ten right now.
Yeah, I agree with you there. They're definitely finding their groove there under John Cook. All right, Aaron, we appreciate the time as always. Enjoy the weekend off of Husker football, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Thank you. Yes, we'll maybe have more answers by next Wednesday.
Yeah, let's hope, Aaron. Appreciate the time.
Let's try and not be sad.
We'll talk to you later.
We'll talk to you later.
That is Erin Sorensen of Hail Varsity joining us every Wednesday as she does. Let's take a break. We're a couple minutes behind schedule. We'll wrap it up next on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. One host has a red beard and thinning hair. The other also has a red beard and thinning hair. One host got married over the summer. So did the other one. One is a diehard fan of a sub-500 AL Central baseball team. So is the other. Can these two radio hosts do a show together without getting confused as to their own identity? The same couple. Happer and Schaefer. Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
The weather has changed, and now it's time to adjust your footwear to change along with it. Stop into Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q to get ready for cooler temperatures and fashion trends. They're stocked with Hey Dudes, Brooks, New Balance, Danner boots, Keen or Merrell hiking boots, and plenty of other options. Plus, they have Nordic beach jackets and Bindle tumblers to take to the gym with your new athletic shoes. So get to Brown's Shoe Fit today at 66th and Q.
Have you been to Barn Wood & Leather, that new furniture store in Lincoln? It's a whole new look. If you like country, you'll love Barn Wood & Leather. It's country with a kick. Rustic, yet contemporary. Handcrafted in America from historic reclaimed barnwood and the finest leather. Create your own one-of-a-kind look for a room or your whole home. Come see for yourself at Barn Wood & Leather, South 14th and Dahlberg. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5.
toys and sports collectibles, 6200 Havelock Avenue.
Hi, I'm Kevin with Sports Fantastic.
And I'm Daryl at Stop and Shop Funko Pop.
We have two of the best collectible stores in the coolest place in Lincoln, in historic Havelock by Misty's. Sports Fantastic has tons of sports memorabilia for Huskers and other hard-to-find teams.
And Stop and Shop Funko Pop has all your Funko and anime needs. It's your one-stop shop on one block at 6200 Havelock.
6200 Havelock Avenue.
Security First Bank. We're the bank, and we make your mortgage more manageable with flexible terms, trusted advice, and competitive rates. When you work with us, we'll know your name, but we'll also get to know your home dreams too. Security First Bank of Lincoln. Voted best small bank in Nebraska by Newsweek magazine. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
Not all championships come with a trophy. Some help save lives. If you'd like to be on the team that kicks cancer's butt, come to Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln this fall and support their Cheers to Hope campaign. Every Cheers to Hope koozie or ACS chicken ringer you buy supports the American Cancer Society and their fight against cancer. Sounds like a win to me. You get great beer, the best chicken sandwich in the league, the chicken ringer, and you're helping fight cancer. Cheers to Hope at Buffalo Wings and Rings, the better Buffalo.
Now back to the happy hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here one final time. We went a little bit late with Aaron Sorensen of Hill Varsity, but good stuff there. Trying to figure out Nebraska's red zone offense woes. A lot of running the football, and when they get inside the 20-yard line, and it hasn't worked necessarily. And part of that's the mediocre field goal kicking, where Connor Culp's 6 of 12 on the year. Part of that's just maybe just the inability to move the football in the red zone. So we get this text off the text line from Adam. The ticket has turned into a whiny, depressed Husker football. We don't want to hear this anymore. I would say this. Everything I've said this week, and I know Rico's in this boat, and I'm part of DP shows as well. Everything that people have said on the station is facts. We're reporting the truth, I would say. And I don't want to speak for anybody in the morning or even DP who actually joins us. Hello. But personally, from 2 to 3, I broke down the kickoff times and everything, and we talked about the facts and the stats and the numbers that you can see on paper. And through 4 years, it just isn't necessarily good.
I actually think I've been more upset than I've been sad and depressed.
Who was the texter?
Adam.
Adam, would you call us and tell us what you're happy about?
He said he's happy with you.
Yeah, he is happy with you.
He likes your shows. He wants you to be on all the time.
I want Adam to call.
That would be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Adam should call.
Let us know what is sad and depressed. We're not like we're just telling you what's going on. I'm not sad and depressed right now with Husker football. I'm more upset because of what they've done this season, the improvement that they've shown in the first or after the first 3 years this season, and how I believe that this was going to be a turning point year, and then you go and you lay an egg against Minnesota. Granted, it's a good Minnesota team, but the way that you were able to not handle, but stick with 3 teams in the top 10, you should have been better. You should have won that game.
This is the happy hour.
I know.
There should be rainbows.
Do you know how happy?
It's tough to be happy.
Do you know how happy we were after the Oklahoma loss and the Michigan State loss and the Michigan? Like, we were actually very happy. We weren't as depressed as we are, after this one. We were very happy and very positive the next game. I don't think I've picked Nebraska to lose a game yet, and I still won't, except for maybe one. Probably not, though. I'm way too happy for that. But it's just, I've been very happy this entire season, but now I'm angry. It happens.
Feel how you feel.
Yeah, that's how we're doing it. All right, we brought DP in. We have about 2 minutes left. How excited are you for NBA? How pumped up?
I loved last night.
Mm-hmm.
Opening night, get to see the Lakers, seeing Showtime, and
it was fun
watching the crowd and seeing Jack Nicholson courtside again, and of course my ex-girlfriend Adele courtside.
She's hanging out with her just temporary boyfriend, Rich Paul.
It's just until I get there. That's all.
On the next flight out there,
right? No, see, but I love the beginning of every sports season. Because it's an opportunity. It's a story that we don't know yet. We don't know how this story ends. And we can project, but we don't know how the story ends. I'd like the idea that today, the New York Knicks can win the NBA title. The Chicago Bulls can win the NBA title. The Washington Wizards cannot.
Don't say that for Nick.
The Washington Wizards cannot.
The Wizard cannot. I think we're the only team that officially were eliminated yesterday.
Don't build Nick up like that. He's been way too high on DeMar DeRozan.
No, I'm more high on Lonzo Ball paired with Zach LaVine in the backcourt.
Oh, well, the Wizards were officially eliminated yesterday.
They didn't even play.
And so now they're going to send their G League team, the DC Go-Go, on the road to play all
How
their
do you
games.
feel? How do you feel about what Bradley Beal said the other day about during and after every game? There's always somebody saying something to him about joining them.
Well, I think it's true. Leave my Bradley Beal alone. We don't have much.
How would you
Allow
feel
us
about
that.
a Ben Simmons for Bradley Beal deal?
Please don't. Please don't. Like, it's one thing to have the truck run over your foot. It's another to have the truck back up and run over it again. That's what that would be.
Well, that is all for today. That's a good note to end it on. Wizards are out of playoff
The Knicks will be
contention.
1-0 after tonight.
We're out. One-on-one with DPs next. See ya.
Adios.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bad